This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Netflix. Coming up, that sneaky little Ezio is back in Assassin's Creed Revelations.
Totally Rad Show.
And welcome to the Totally Rad Show. We've got a great week for you today. We're going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Revelations.
That's right. And then tomorrow we've got two of my favorite things jammed together:
Oh, yes.
Lego and apps.
Lego apps.
We're talking about the new Lego thing. What's it called? Life of
George.
Life of George. I wanted to say Life of Brian, of course, and I knew that was not right.
Yes.
That's right. Also, and then on Wednesday,
Dan's here.
we
Buddy.
play the first hour of Rayman Origins, a fun multiplayer game. We will be multi-playing it.
Yes. Thursday, we get a look at the new J.J. Abrams movie, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Not J.J.
Abrams. Brad Bird.
Brad Bird, director.
Oh, right.
They'll hear all about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Did he produce
There's
it?
a little guy named Tom Cruise
yeah.
is in it. You probably heard about it by now. And then Friday, we've got one of the games everybody loves, Secret Identity.
You'll never guess. So we want to talk about our background, but first we want to say, for the holidays, we have new TRS swag coming out.
Get excited.
We're hoping it's going to be out on Tuesday, but we're not sure. Check jinx.com/TRS for updates. We have 2 new hoodies coming out and 2 new
Awesome
shirts.
stuff, guys.
2 new shirts, 2 new
Awesome
hoodies.
stuff.
Is it 3 hoodies and one
It's
shirt?
two
Two
hoodies,
hoodies,
2
two
shirts.
shirts.
Yes.
2 hoodies, 2 shirts.
2 hoodies, 2 shirts.
Shirts have a back and a front.
That's right.
Super cool.
And-
Designed
Yes.
by today's background submitter and
Correctamundo.
previous designer of clothing for TRS and all-around good guy, amazing graphic designer Jay Williams, who
Correct.
did this background, which is an homage to the
Connect.
new
Xbox dashboard update.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love the hand for connect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Connecting to us.
Xbox, bing bong bang.
So thanks,
Start
Jay,
show.
for designing our shirts. I hope you guys get a chance to get them on Tuesday. If not, stay tuned because
Yeah.
they're awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, theoretically, they are awesome.
Very zen.
Today we're talking about Assassin's Creed Revelations, the latest in the Assassin's Creed franchise from Ubisoft, a very popular franchise. We didn't actually review the last game in this series.
Was that
Assassin's
Brotherhood?
Creed Brotherhood.
Yeah.
But we are making up for that now. We're talking about Revelations. Revelations is the last game, they tell us, of the Ezio storyline. Ezio, one of the line of assassins. This time he finds himself in Constantinople, which brings to mind wonderful songs. And he's got a whole host of new tricks, including a, what is it called? A hook blade. Hook blade that allows him to scale walls more quickly and do fun flippity doodles over bad guys.
Yep.
And hook them in the face and neck.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Dan, you are an Assassin's Creed super fan, I would say.
I would say fan.
Oh.
You haven't gotten your powers yet.
I haven't got my powers yet.
All right, well,
Where's my
ACF
hook?
and
I
ACSF?
railed away for that hook blade.
you haven't been.
Send myself
You
to dress
can
stamp
probably
envelope.
get a replica hook blade, I'm sure.
You have yet to be bitten by the radioactive assassin.
That's right.
But I would say of the three of us, you are by far the biggest fan of this franchise. So I go to you first because I know you finished the game. I know you played Brotherhood. I know you are invested in this storyline and love the mechanics of the series. So tell me, does Assassin's Creed Revelations live up to the standard set in the series? Does it finish out this story effectively? What are your thoughts?
I, for some reason, fell in love with this very flawed game, Assassin's
super
Creed
fan.
Revelations.
And your superpower is love.
Yes, you know, the story is very well told. Though a little bit, I found the story in Brotherhood to be rooted in really, there was a fun love story and it was very romantic and it was simplified because of that very human stuff. And this one had a little more politics, kind of like the first Assassin's Creed. That was very challenging, but it's still engaging and like I said, well told. this is called Assassin's Creed Revelations, and there are a lot of revelations in the game. It struck me a lot that it was very similar to Lost, Battlestar Galactica. Yeah.
None of that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Those are bad references for ending of stories.
And Battlestar Galactica in terms of the lore, actually the whole gamut. It's on a finished story, but there's revelations that happen, so things are revealed.
Those revelations sour you on in the same way that
Battlestar
and
it just is sort of like, there's no way this was the plan from the beginning. This is a bizarre plan to have had from the beginning. And now, all that aside, why did I love the game? First of all, I feel like it's so weird to think back about that first game.
Yeah.
It feels like this should have been the game they came out with. All the elements at play, like, so remember that first game, as I'm sure you guys do, because remember you really hated it about it, how you just like got mission, you did the same thing over and over again. Remember the first game was you just get a mission and you assassinate someone. That was it. There's like a million.
Also looked for banners in places.
Right, yeah. This game, there's a million things to do. The story missions are as refined as any of the set pieces in an Uncharted or a Call of Duty. Like any game that I mean, really all, like Grand Theft Auto even has this too, but it just struck me as how, like, it was more like Prince of Persia. I always loved that about the Prince of Persia games, that it was like, oh, I'm in this like place and I have to complete this story. The other ones were like, just do anything to assassinate a guy. You can go up here, you can go down there, that's fine.
Much more open world than what the series has evolved into.
Right, and now there's still an open world and there's so much to do and I'm constantly distracted, but when I'm playing a story mission, I'm really like in this moment to moment, cool, doing awesome things, and the Hook Blade does, it makes the traversal so much better, because now when you see it, you don't have to like think as much of like how to get from point A to B. You really can kind of get wherever you need to go, just run full speed ahead and you will get there. What do you
think about the combat?
I really like the combat. I finally, for the first time, figured it out, you know, and really, it's all a not combo system, where you
Counter.
It's all based on countering, and when you hone into that, it's a very cinematic experience playing the combat. I also was fascinated by when you collect enough memories. There's these mini games. All the Assassin's Creed had these like collecting memories, and you see what the backstory of whatever the plot is. This was Desmond's backstory, told through a first-person, kind of looked like Portal, and there was this wonderful puzzle mechanic where you would be blocked. You could change the shape of your block to get from point A to point B. It's sort of like Tron, like you're literally like making a long block or a ramp block, whatever, to get, and you're discovering the story. I'm so engrossed in trying to find out the story, but when you find it out, it's kind of like silly. But it's, I mean, and I was like hooked into these.
You were hook-bladed.
Strategy game.
Really?
Yeah, and like I just like
the tower
I couldn't.
defense thing?
I wanted to beat the game so badly. Once I got towards the end, I have to just beat the game. I'm so close. And I was like, so just do the story, Dan. Just go to the exclamation mark. Don't do anything else. But I couldn't help myself. I'm like, no, this guy, I made a dude an assassin. And using your dudes when those like things coming at you, you can make them your assassins for you. Everything was just really cool. It's just a little loose, this game. It's a little like, I had lots of glitches. I don't know if you guys had like weird bugs where.
I had some interesting online
Horrible
multiplayer bugs.
Oh,
I know you became a huge fan of the multiplayer, but you never really were a huge fan of the single player.
Yeah, really disliked the single player. Never really locked into the enjoyment for it, but picked up Brotherhood. I actually think I picked it up on your recommendation.
Yeah, to play multiplayer,
and fell in love with the multiplayer.
As did we all. It's such an interesting, unique, different take on multiplayer.
Yeah, and just so I can talk a little bit about the multiplayer in this game, and then I'll talk about the overall game, the single player. They did something brilliant in this game, which is when you start the Xbox Live online multiplayer game, the first thing you do is you do a bot demo of how to play the multiplayer. They didn't have that in the last game. And it was really hard because there's that frustration level of you just have people running around and you're like, I don't even
playing
know
it like other games.
Yeah, it's like I'm just running and trying to get it. And then, but it really teaches you this sort of finesse, because where the multiplayer really explodes for me is when you realize that walking, what?
My face.
It's in my face, so that's where it explodes the most. Is when you realize that it's all about pretending like you're an NPC. My God, that is a great mechanic. Man, that is so much
really
fun, and you get points for that. You get rewarded. You know what I mean? Like it's so great, and it's
There's
just
different
plus
play
10.
types in this multiplayer, right? Manhunt or something.
Well, there's different play types in the original one as well, where
Yeah.
you can do like
They added new ones here, didn't they?
Yeah.
I just played not very much of it because I wanted to
okay.
get through the single player and do some stuff. The single player, by far the most amazing experience with the Brotherhood or with the Assassin's Creed that I've ever had. And I wanted to know if it's because we've just come off of 2 AAA melee counter combat system games. I'm wondering if we've now sort of been programmed in how that combat system is supposed to work, or if it's that this is a better combat system. Because I was countering,
refined,
I've
yeah.
never been able to sort of execute the counters. I always saw the video of him fighting things, and I was like, that is never what it looks like for me. For me, it's like, ting, ting, oh, I got hit, ting, ting, oh, I got hit again. Oh, he got hit, I win. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, all the other games. And so locking into the combat system then opens up and this is a much less open world because I'm not a big open world guy, so you can stop and get new gear and stuff like that, which is sort of fun, but at the end of the day, you can just kind of go down the storyline, and it's really interesting and rich, and the locations are beautiful, and the traversal is actually really fun. I remember not loving the traversal before, but also, I feel like because I played so much of the multiplayer in Brotherhood, I now had little tricks, you know what I mean? Like when my meter was going off, I would just go stand in the thing, and it would like give me that thing where everybody just got digital around it because it's like, you're in that pack, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had these little tricks from playing the multiplayer, which I think is how you're supposed to play the single
You could
player.
have picked it up playing single player as well.
No, I know, but I never connected with that. That was never a, you know what I mean? Like I was always like, where are the bushes? Where are the bushes? Oh, screw it, I'll just go up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and with this, it just really, so I had a really great time, and I actually really enjoyed the tower defense stuff, sort of
Wow, you guys
oddly.
are shocking me.
Yeah, I just really had a good time because I was like, oh, we need more crossbow guys. Oh, I'll build up my thing. Oh, you know what I mean? Like it just
Boy,
became really fun.
I'm gonna be Mr. Captain Poopy Pants on this one.
Bring it
and
on, Poopy Pants.
I'm glad you guys are dug in. I've never been a fan of this series, so I'm already not the target audience. I feel like this game is preaching to the choir, and it's really fan service and aimed at people who are familiar with the series, and I just don't have an affinity for it, so I'm not that target audience. But coming in, having not played any of Brotherhood other than the multiplayer, I found myself awash in story that made no sense to me. It doesn't welcome you in if you're not already familiar with this, and that's fine. I mean, if people already are, then more power to them. But as a person who played 1 and 2 and then skipped 1, I was lost completely. And I just think this game is clunky. I think the controls are unintuitive and wonky, and everything feels like I'm waiting for animations to cycle. I don't like the traversal mechanics. I'm often leaping to my death accidentally. Nothing works like I expect it to. What I love about it, what I do like, what is so compelling to me, is the setting. I love Constantinople, and all these games present such vibrant, wonderful views of historical places that are absolutely incredibly detailed and wonderfully well rendered. And I could wander around in that city all the time. I didn't like the fact that if I did something wrong, my meter would fill up, and all of a sudden now I have to defend my freaking town from bad guys, and I have to play this, what I consider to be a very tedious, very terrible, tacked on tower defense game that added very little to the. It's not what I want to be doing. I want to be badass assassin guy assassinating people. I don't want to be standing on a thing going there.
But that you don't have to do that, and if
You do have to if your meter fills
You don't
up.
have to though. You don't have to go. They can.
But you have to do it at least twice in the story. And if
But you don't really. I mean, that's
you don't
kind of
lose
it.
your things, they're gonna take over your area.
Because, I mean, you don't have to. Yet
I don't want them to take over my
But I
area.
know. But I felt compelled. I was always like, fuck, I gotta go do that. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have to. Towards the end, I was like, just don't do it, and it didn't matter.
There was very few moments in this game where I was really having fun, and maybe it's just because I don't have an affinity for the series, and I found myself not wanting to play anymore. There was like chase sequences where I would fail over and over, and I don't even know why. I don't even know where the guy went, and it's like I'm done. I don't, I wish I liked it more. I would love to have the
I think
experience
maybe
you guys
having
had.
the multiplayer, going so far into the Brotherhood multiplayer, may have given me more of an affinity. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like my affinity may have grown in that multiplayer experience because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So that I may have actually gone into the single player on this with more of an affinity than I even realized, just because I had had such a good time with the multiplayer.
Yeah.
And the multiplayer was a little glitchy. It cut out a couple times, and
The game, I wonder if you got, because I had some horrible bugs where like
In the game
I would
game?
have a cutscene with a guy and then a chase would break out because it sounds like what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I was still like looking at the guy I was having a cutscene with and the guy's like getting away and then I would die and then it would start over again and then I'd be like
Yeah.
chasing him and it was fine, you know? So like that happened a few times and it
Yeah.
was really bizarre. It was
It's
like, that's what I mean, it's like very loose, very
Yeah,
like
yeah.
not perfected.
Yeah.
And I feel like
But-
there's so much of the game where you're watching a cutscene and you're not engaged, and I'm setting the controller down every couple of minutes, and I mean later.
I felt like
later on
there
it
wasn't
gets more,
cutscenes because I thought what was cool was that it was the walking and talking where I'm controlling it.
Yeah.
You're talking
and-
about like the Desmond moments. I don't know. I mean, I guess you're always wandering around the city and he's showing you stuff too, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Well, there you go. To each their
I'm
own.
glad you guys did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Revelations.
Revelation.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, Dan Trachtenberg surprised me with something. Some information maybe about a streaming service.
Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Netflix.
Not as surprising
folks.
as I wanted,
It's
but-
it's TV shows and
Yep.
movies streamed directly to you via your PC, your Mac, your Xbox
Yep.
360, your PS3. It's watch as many of these things as you want and cancel anytime.
Well.
And
Are there any
one low
contracts
price.
or late fees?
No
or
late
due
fees,
dates?
no due dates.
Damn, man.
Very, very cool. I use it all the time. In fact, I'm watching the.
Right now.
In fact, I'm using it right now.
I'm watching the Swedish
Swedish?
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo to prepare
Girl with the
for
dragon tattoos.
our upcoming
That's how it goes.
review of the American remake.
Bork,
All right.
bork, bork.
So for a limited time, 30 days free, my friends.
damn, what?
Netflix.com/TRS. Go ahead and sign up there now.
Amazing.
Yep.
All right, people, enjoy your Monday. We will see you on Tuesday.
Join us tomorrow for a look at a Lego iPhone game called Life of George.
Today's Twitter question comes to us from @ChrisWeddell, or Weddle. I always say Weddell. I don't know why. Weddle, Chris Weddle. Here's a question. We have answers. What hobby or nerd activity that you were really into as a kid do you no longer do and kind of regret? I will tell you my number one thing for me, collecting action figures. I loved
yeah.
collecting action figures and going to the toy shop and being like, oh, I don't have this one guy, like looking for the last guy in the set. And I tried
I
to
did
get
that
back
well into
it.
adulthood.
Oh no, me too. In college, I tried to get back into it with the re-release of the Star Wars figures, and I got almost the entire set, even going so far as to get the Princess Leia one that was like really rare, and buying
Awesome
like
how those have gone way up in
$45.
value. Oh wait, they have.
That's the problem. It's a little bit like Beanie Babies, you know what I mean? Like where you got them and they were like, yes, this one's worth $5,000,
that.
and then it's like,
Can't be about that.
but yeah, I really I miss the feeling of I have a thing that I need to buy to finish this collection, and I have to go search for it and figure it out and find it. You know what I mean? Although now the internet probably makes that very easy.
Does. Dan, you got one?
Yeah, I used to build model rockets
Oh yeah,
and
me
launch
too.
them.
Loved it.
And how cool is that? And I definitely regret not doing that anymore.
Well,
I
my
always wanted
buddy
to do trains.
Joshua-
I always want to get into model trains.
My buddy and Joshua and I we got back into RC cars.
Right.
We got those great RC cars. It's mind-blowing fun.
Yeah.
For me, it's watching cartoons. I mean, I still watch some cartoon animated entertainment, but it's not like when I was a kid
Yeah.
and I watched cartoons. And in fact, this being the holiday season, one of my favorite things as a kid was always watching the holiday specials.
Yeah.
I got really excited the night after Thanksgiving, or the Saturday after Thanksgiving, I think it was, hanging out in my house we just decorated for Christmas. I was like, oh my gosh, it's 8 o'clock. I'm gonna turn on. I bet there's a holiday special. I turn on the holiday special. It was. I'm gonna sound like an old person because I don't even remember the name of the character. I'll be like, sound like my dad saying that the Nintendos or whatever. I don't know. But
Nintendos.
you know what I mean? It was the flibbly flob and bibbity bob or what, you know, that's like an old person says.
Phineas and Ferb? Phineas and Ferb?
No, it wasn't them. But anyway, I watched it and I couldn't get through like 2 minutes of it. It was clearly aimed at a
child.
Which is why it was so awesome watching the Muppet thing. Some people saw my tweet about that. I watched the Muppet Christmas special, which I hadn't seen ever. I watched it for the first time, and it totally works no matter what age you are.
Amazing.
And that's what stuff that's really magical.
We should just all do all those things.